Suck it. You can suck it. You can all suck it.
They do suck it. All right, now, Mr. Eduardo, what
The man
what
Garrett.
grinds your gears? What pisses you off?
Well, pretty much work.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
People at work.
I was there. I've been there. I went on a rant about that.
Anyway, let's take a look at some photos from the game yesterday, shall we? Look around the crowd. Brought a lot of their fans to the game.
yeah.
That's excellent. The mixture was phenomenal. It
Yeah.
was pretty much like 60-40, and I'm not sure which way to take that.
Right.
But keep
Yeah.
in mind that we did sit on the Green Bay side.
Yes.
So I looked around to my left, to my right. If I did the pictures right, you'll see that. Woo, woo. That'd be kind of cool.
Ooh.
And behind us, we had pretty much Packers Row behind us, and all the way up. I mean, it was predominantly Packers fans all around us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look around the stadium, there was still little yellow hats dotted all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Green and yellow everywhere.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But most of them were respectful, but not all of them.
No.
What pisses me off is any JO at any sporting event that's to run their mouth and how your team sucks. You know, I hate the Red Wings. I'm just raised to hate the Red Wings as far as hockey goes in St. Louis, even in Dallas. But I don't say they suck. I still respect them. They're a good team. I don't say anybody's band sucks or team sucks. I just don't like them. I mean, they suck. Some bands do suck, and some teams do suck, like the Rams.
Right.
I'm just saying. But I'm not going to stand there and be all mouthy about it.
No.
I'll be respectful about it.
Mm-hmm.
These yahoos, or as Jim would call them, as you started on them, JOs, around us, mouthing back and forth, they took away from half the game experience because they're jawing at each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's entertaining for a minute. Then it gets to be old.
Yep.
It's like, you know what?
They
Let's
keep
just watch the
repeating
damn
themselves.
game. I paid money for this ticket to sit in this seat. And by the way, I don't want to stand all day. I want to sit in my damn seat that I paid
Yeah.
for. I didn't pay for a
Jackasses.
concrete slab to stand on. We can just pay one price for that. Pay for seats, individual seats.
You get paid.
Can I sit in them and you shut your mouth in the meantime? I want to hear your mouth. I want to watch the game. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
Great rant,
Church.
brother.
Church.
Great rant.
That was
But
great.
before I go on, let me just hit the NFC right quick. Or you want to do that over in your segment? NFC, last two games.
Yeah, hit it. Hit it.
Hit it.
You
What's
know
our
what
time?
we're doing.
Hit it hard.
27-20.
Whoa. Well, what pisses me off is going to go by real fast. It's simply $27 parking at Arrowhead Stadium. $27 parking at Arrowhead Stadium.
To park on the curb.
Gas is fucking $2.99 a gallon. Are you kidding me? We drove from St. Clair, Missouri to Kansas City to what? To pay $27 to park on a fucking piece of... Dude, no, I'm sorry. Okay. Like, I have no respect for anybody who's going to charge me $27 to park a motor vehicle in a spot where I could just seriously go to Lowe's and get some yellow paint and make a fucking parking spot wherever I goddamn well want. That's all they do.
Well, I mean, like where we parked, we had a great parking spot for the Royals game.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing that pisses me off is when we got there, we got passed by cops who told us to go. No, you can't come in this entrance. All right, you go to the next entrance. No, you can't come in this entrance. No, you go to the very furthest one, and then they just work their way forward. I'm sorry, first come, first serve. I was there before those fucking JOs who had to park, 400 feet away from the stadium, and yet we got to hike and you got to do a goddamn nature walk through the conservation area just to get to the freaking stadium. I'm sorry.
I didn't even see no wildlife.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to give it up to the people at Destiny Church. Thank you for giving me $15 parking. All I had to do was walk across the street and I'm at the stadium. So thank you very much to you guys. I give you a golf clap. Golf clap. But $27 parking, get your head out of your fucking ass and stop charging maybe $10 a beer, and people might actually feel good about paying $27 per parking.
Did I forget that?
Yeah.
There was no draft beer yesterday.
No draft beer
God.
at
I
Arrowhead
bought a stupid
Stadium.
16-ounce bottle of Miller Lite.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Do you know that you're in like the heartland of America? That you're in the Great Plains? Kansas City, Missouri, it's the same freaking thing. People like to raise farm animals and drink a lot of fucking beer and watch sports. And you're only gonna have Miller Lite. Miller freaking Light.
That's not
and then
beer.
the next thing you're gonna charge is $12.50 for a freaking Jack and Coke.
Other than that, Arrowhead Stadium is a very, very nice facility.
That was awesome.
I've always enjoyed my visit. I didn't pay the parking last time. I walked for a while in 12 degrees.
But I mean, you know, and this is not just geared towards Arrowhead Stadium. This is any stadium you go to, because any stadium you go to, you're gonna pay $4 more for a hot dog than you really should. You know?
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. So I'm pissed at all of you. But it's mostly because of Arrowhead, because I was just there. And it's still fresh in my brain.
We had an NFL lockout because there wasn't enough money being generated to the right places. It ain't coming to us.
Right. Let me pay $90 for 2 tickets in nosebleed section, and then also pay $27 to park, then $8 per beer, and then $12 per Jack and Coke, and then you know, $8.50 to breathe. Can't even smile or fart without somebody coming up to you and charging you.
No, then you got to pay for your texting to go, hey, there's a lot of jails in our section 306 row, blah, blah, blah. Get their asses out of here. They will come get them, though.
Oh, yeah.
We saw it.
Yeah. Yep. But anyways, that's what pisses me off.
Yeah. What pisses me off is we're going 30 minutes to 7 tonight.
Well, you know.
You should have known, huh?
Yeah, well.
We have a very short first quarter.
Being away from football for a day, I mean, even though we're at a game, we're fully involved in football, set us a little off.
But I will give props to Arrowhead Stadium for doing a lot of things during a game to get the crowd involved.
It's very good place to watch the game.
It was awesome. The whole first down thing.
Their fans are so diehard there.
Yeah.
They're like our Cardinals.
They are.
Fans.
It was a lot of fun.
Win, lose, or draw. I mean, no matter what was going on during that game, they was behind them 100%.
Yeah.
And you got to give them props for that, for sure.
Absolutely.
And you know what? The one Rob Schneider guy, when the Chiefs won, he didn't turn around, mouth off, turn around, went like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He offered out a handshake.
And the Green Bay guy was like a J.O. about it.
Yeah. We'll see you in the playoffs. Oh, wait.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
Be respectful.
Wisconsin could suck it.
Yeah. What pisses me off is the state of Wisconsin.
Go back and talk funny someplace else.
Right. You know?
Yes. Forget about it.
But that's it for this segment. Bye-bye now.
Yow. So what else did you have as far as the NFC goes?
Well, obviously Green Bay, New Orleans, San Fran, and Dallas are the division leaders right now. Good stare. With Dallas winning and the Giants losing, Dallas is back on top of the NFC East. So there's that. Dallas has the last 2 games of the season against Philadelphia and the Giants. So the NFC East is going to come down to the final week, pretty much guaranteed.
Yep.
Other than that, you got in the wild card, you got Atlanta and Detroit.
Yeah.
Atlanta's got the Saints and the Bucks, so there's a split there. Detroit's got the Chargers and the Packers. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah.
And they're both 9-5, by the way.
Right.
As far as the teams that are in the hunt, you got Seattle, Chicago, the Giants, Arizona, and Philadelphia. You can take Chicago and just throw them out, remove them, and put them to the bottom. At least Seattle, the Giants, Arizona, and Philly. The Giants have the Jets and the Cowboys.
Right.
So you got New York showdown in the final NFC East game of the year. Seattle's got San Fran and Arizona. We mentioned earlier Arizona and Seattle play the last week of the season, which should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Philadelphia has Dallas and Washington NFC East matchups. So it's pretty much the NFC is not locked down at all, but the NFC East is going to probably produce your other factor into the playoffs.
Right.
And that's really about it. I mean, Green Bay has a first round bye already, the only team that has that so far in the whole league. The Saints have clinched their playoff berth.
Yeah.
And San Fran clinched their division.
Nice.
That's pretty much the extent of the NFC. I mean, the NFC East has pretty much the best last 2 weeks in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
gonna be fun. Super happy fun time. Ta-da.
Speaking of super happy fun time, that is where we are. Kinda. We're gonna kind of do something a little bit different. Per request. So this is kind of a shout out to Nicole. So she said she doesn't really get football. She doesn't really understand it. Kind of watches a little bit, because I'm a friend, but she doesn't really get it. So I said, okay, well, we'll just kind of throw out a little segment here with the basics. There's the throw out. So instead of super happy fun time, how about super happy fundamentals, super happy fundamentals, super happy fundamentals
Of football.
of football.
Of football.
NFL. So, basically, this is going to be like the ultimate kind of John Madden analogy here, because everything that we say will be exactly like something you would hear John Madden say while he's announcing a football game or doing commentary for one of the many Madden games, or living life and cooking a turducken.
I was gonna go to turducken to red wine. Turducken.
So basically, the gist of it is obviously you get more points, you win the game. Now, the way that you get points is either by touchdowns or field goals, generally. That's your main two ways to get points. A touchdown is worth 6 points, and then you get an extra point after if you try to kick a field goal, or you can go for a 2-point conversion, which is basically generally another run drive or another passing drive after you just scored to get 2 points. Or if it comes down to where you get stopped, you can kick just the field goal and get 3 points. So that's kind of the basic, quick breakdown as far as offensive points go. So, help me out here, Mario. Where can we go next with this?
Well, everything is broken down into yards on a football field, obviously.
The most important part is how do you keep the ball? How do you score?
Well, the first time the offense gets the ball, every time any offense gets the ball, they have 4 opportunities, well, really 3 opportunities, I guess 4 opportunities.
Right, depending.
And they're called downs. First down, second down, third down, fourth down. Fourth down, generally you're going to see the team punt.
Right.
Which is where they have the kicker come out, and it's basically like a mini kickoff, like you see at the beginning of the game, once again to the punt returner. And then...
Well, a kick is off a tee, a punt is by hand.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And
on the third down, they make donuts, right?
right, exactly.
Powdered donuts.
Powdered donuts.
Yes.
Not just any donut.
Powdered donuts.
Correct. Not the dry ones that taste like foot callus.
Yeah, exactly.
It's divided. They have to go 10 yards in those 4 plays.
Exactly. That's where I was at. Yes.
And if they fail to do so, then the ball turns around and goes the other direction. The other team gets it. It has to do the same thing. And obviously, the goal of the other team at that point would be to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to do that is get to the quarterback, the guy who throws the ball, and knock the hell out of him, which that's always awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
And
By the way, that was a good question that Jen asked me the other day, and it was a good time to bring that up. Not to cut you off, but the difference between a sack and a tackle. So I explained to her, when the quarterback gets the ball, he's in the pocket, he's dropping back to make a play. He gets tackled, that's a sack. He still has the ball, that's a sack. If he drops back to make throw the ball, and then the play breaks down, and he breaks off and runs, and he crosses the line of scrimmage, that becomes a tackle if you tackle him. So a sack is when he's trying to make a play. A tackle is when he's already decided what play to make. That makes any sense.
The line of scrimmage is basically an imaginary line where the offense is. At any point, they get, say they're on first down, they get 3 yards. They have 7 more yards to go for another first down.
That's a blue line on
There'll
TV.
there's a blue line on TV, but it's an imaginary line in real life, and that's where the ball is set, and it's called the line of scrimmage. Anytime that the quarterback goes past that, the ball can no longer be thrown. Otherwise it's a penalty and it's a forward pass, basically. But yeah.
Yeah. And there's other factors that you don't see a whole lot, like safeties, where
2 points.
right, that's 2 points, where basically the one team is tackled in the other end zone, and it's not something you see too often, but.
And one common misconception is that a touchdown is 7 points. It's really not.
No.
It's 6
It's
points.
only 6.
With the extra point, it's 7.
Right.
Unless you go for the 2 and make it 8.
Right. It's pretty rare that you don't see them go for the extra point and go for the 2 points instead.
Yeah, that's pretty much, the NFL created that for late in the game scoring scenarios, kind of like college football.
Right.
You know, like as a matter of fact, the Packers yesterday, if they had challenged that one play where on the touchdown where the guy stepped out of bounds at the 1, if they had challenged that play and won the challenge and forced the 3rd down and stopped them, or just forced them to kick the field goal, I'm not sure, I think it was 3rd down already, wasn't it?
I think so,
It
yeah.
became 4th down.
Yeah.
In that case, if the Chiefs would have kicked the field goal, it would have been 15-7. It was an 8-point difference. At that point, that changes Green Bay's whole approach to the next drive. You got to score, obviously, and then if you do score, you need to get that 2-point conversion to tie the game.
Church.
That's why they put that into play. Otherwise, there's no way you can catch up at that point.
Right.
Yes.
And when you throw a safety in the mix, it screws the whole thing up. You got
does.
And if you miss a field goal, it comes back to haunt you.
It does.
Packers missed 2 yesterday, back to back, by the way.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Back to back. You got a second
Back-to-back.
chance. It's like Dallas. I thought only Dallas did that.
Yeah.
Must be an NFC thing.
That only happens though whenever the coach is a retard and calls a timeout because he's a fucking retard.
Let's talk about some basics when you turn the game on the TV, what you're looking at.
Yeah.
The field is split into 2 50-yard sections. So when you look at the game and you see the numbers on the sidelines with arrows, those arrows you see are pointing from the 50 to the end zone. That's where you're going. This is where you've been.
Yep.
And if they say that you're deep in your own territory, that means you're down here on your end, where your end zone is, that you're defending and you're trying to go that way. So whatever the end zone to your back is what you're defending. The other one is when you're trying to get to. So those arrows point, that pretty much tell you where to go.
Right. And the best thing that the defense can do is, while the offense is trying to get the ball down the field, is to take it away from them and start their own drive. You know, interception, force a fumble, pick it up, run it back the other direction.
Pick sixes are good.
Pick sixes are awesome.
sixes are
That's one of
cool.
my favorite things. Period in football. So watch them just toss it right to them. Perfect throw to the wrong team.
Could you explain to them, like, what determines when to punt, when to not? When to go for it, when to not?
Well, if you're down by points and you're in the 4th quarter, you always want to go for it, because if you don't, you're going to lose anyway. So you have to try. But if it's early on in the game, you don't want to risk turning the ball over deep in your own territory by trying to go for it whenever you could punt it away, stop them up here, and then whenever they in turn punt it back, you're in better position than where you stopped. So
Exactly.
you basically depends on what your score is at what point during the game. The later in the game and the farther behind you are, the more you're going to want to go for the extra points, the extra yards, instead of trying to punt the ball away.
For sure.
Sure.
But that's just kind of like a basic breakdown of how football goes as a request. So,
Well, how about the field goals? Like, there's where the ball is, line of scrimmage. Then it goes back like 5 yards,
5 yards.
and then another 3. The kicker stands back.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically, I thought actually isn't it 7 yards back?
I think so.
The ball is held 7 yards back. So in other words, what we're trying to get at is whenever you try and determine late in the game, okay, are they in field goal range? You heard the term field goal range. Field goal range generally is inside the 30. Some kickers, like Sebastian Janikowski, inside the 50 is probably fine.
Yeah.
If you're inside the 30, and you know the end zone is about 12 yards deep,
Something like that.
and then the kicker, not the kicker, the ball is snapped from point A to point B, another 7. It's looking at 19 yards that you add for that to your yards. So a 30-yard, a field goal from the 30-yard line becomes a 49-yard field goal, which is pretty common.
Right.
51, 52 that's a good kicker should be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of like a basic little breakdown of football.
well, if you're in St. Louis, your MVP is either your kicker or your punter because they're always out there.
Right.
Right.
Their combined total yardage is more than the rest of the entire team.
We forgot the red zone
Oh yeah, the red zone.
inside the 20s.
Yes.
Inside the
Anytime
20.
you're inside the 20, that's called the red zone, which is basically that's the hard time to score.
Which is what made me think about it because the Rams go to the red zone all the time and then kick a field goal or get nothing.
Right.
Nothing
not
is
good.
usually what they're
That's
used to.
more common than anything, yes. Generally, they're in their red zone and then punt the ball. Which is where you don't want to be. Don't be there. Don't be in your red zone.
Well,
That's really all I got.
Jen's back there. You know, she has a different perspective of the game. Also, we could ask her if she has any questions, or if she thinks what we just did made sense.
I think it does, but you probably, for somebody who doesn't know a whole lot like Nicole, and it sometimes confuses myself, the defense and the offense.
Oh, yeah.
I
okay.
say defense is defending the ball, but actually it's backwards.
No.
No?
Defense does. Well, yeah. I know what you're saying.
Well, basically, whenever you hear the term defense, you're talking about the team that does not have possession of the ball at this point.
You're defending your end zone.
Right. You're defending this team from getting to this side of the field. And offense has their own defense, which is the offensive line. The guys who try to protect your running back and your quarterback and make the plays happen. The big guys up in the front. And-
Corn-fed boys.
Right.
Clay Matthews.
Corn-fed.
Yeah.
No, he's a linebacker.
AJ Hawk.
He's a linebacker.
Damn it.
Hainsworth.
He's a
Wilfork.
Wilford. He's had a good year.
Wilfork has had a good year. 2 interceptions.
Them big boys up there, the
Yeah.
O-line, D-line, that's called the trenches.
The guys who look like they rolled up, like Mario and Ed and me, just rolled us up into a big ball and ate us. Those are the guys that are on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the one protecting your quarterback.
Right.
That $4 million guy back there. or
You're
whatever
right.
he's making.
So that's generally the breakdown there is the defense does not have possession of the ball whenever you're hearing about it through commentary.
Let's put it in people's terms.
Right.
If you're being offensive, you're speaking it. You're offensive. You're giving it. You're putting it out.
Yep.
I'm not being offensive. If you're defensive, you're probably guarding something.
Yep.
Whether it be your area, your space, you're being defensive. That's a good way to put it as far as
Yeah.
offensive is out,
Yep.
forward, barking. Defensive is protecting, guarding.
That's true. Very nice. Very nice, Ed.
smart.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
You're smart.
He is.
No, I mean, we could go deeper. We won't tonight because we don't really have time, and it'd be a whole different conversation. But the positions, safeties, DBs, and
Yeah.
cornerbacks, and
We can maybe do
Linebackers
that next week.
linemen, and running back, and wide receiver, and tight end, and slot receiver, and fullback, and running back, and
Special
all that stuff.
teams and all that stuff.
We might touch on a little bit of that next week.
That'd be a good place to go next
that
week.
would be a good topic for my section next week is the advanced 102, if you would. So, unless you guys got anything else, I guess that can close us out.
Well, the best way to watch football games, besides good food, is good beer. So, I mean, that's pretty much, if I was going to give you advice on how to watch football, good food, good beer, and of course, good company.
Yes.
Drink beer, fart, and watch football.
I can do all of those things spectacularly.
Because every football Sunday is a holiday.
It's very true.
It's true. We have it posted right there. If you don't believe us, ask us, we'll tell you.
That's right. Pigskin holiday.
All right, peace out.